Ian Manuel was just 13 when he was involved in an attempted robbery where a woman was shot, not fatally. And after turning himself in and being advised by his attorney to plead guilty, he was charged as an adult and sentenced to life without parole at 13. With help from the Equal Justice Initiative, he eventually won his freedom almost 3 decades later. He joins us now later with his story, and he's got a book called My Time Will Come, a memoir of crime, punishment, hope, and redemption. Ian, this is a heart-wrenching story, and you seem to be a pretty upbeat guy now. How do you maintain that after all that you've been through?
It was by the grace of God that I was able to maintain my sanity despite what I went through. And I'm just fortunate to survive because a lot of people didn't.
Ian, tell us your story quickly if you can, because it started at age 13, which is so young.
Yeah, you know, I was 13 years old. I grew up in a place called Central Park Village in Tampa, Florida. The Central Park I grew up in was nothing like New York City, where I currently live. The only time we was jogging when we was running away from police, it was filled with violence. But I had hope. I went to Catholic school. I had a grandmother that loved me. But, you know, I started hanging with the wrong crowd at a young age. And at the tender age of 13, I found myself participating in a robbery in downtown Tampa that eventually led to me being sentenced to the rest of my life in the Department of Corrections. And a place where I was sent to solitary confinement as soon as I entered prison. And then a place where I spent 18 consecutive years from November 1992 to November 2010 before I was eventually released out from solitary confinement. That picture right there is of me on my first day in prison, just a 14-year-old child with so much hurt and pain and a future of solitary confinement ahead of me.
How do you survive something like this?
Well, like I said, it was the grace of God. My mom told me when I was very, very young, Ian, you're brilliant. No matter what, don't never let them take your mind. And my lawyer that came into my life, Brian A. Stevenson, his help appealing my case to the United States Supreme Court and getting my life sentence overturned was very helpful. Additionally, someone sent me Tupac Shakur's poetry book, The Rose That Grew From Concrete. And I began rewriting Tupac's poems and sharing them with my fellow prisoners. And they began paying me to write their girlfriends and wives' poetry. And it was then that I realized that I had a special gift. And it was poetry that sustained me. I dived within the depths of my imagination to sustain me. And before we go, I'd like to share a short poem with you and your audience.
Okay, we're going to get to that, but I still want to know more about your story. I mean, how do you, as a 13-year-old, go through this, first of all, but do you have a blame for anything? Do you blame it? Do you blame the system? Do you blame racism? Do you blame your attorney? Do you blame anybody?
Yeah, so I blame myself, but I will have to say, even my victim, Debbie, said, had I been a blonde hair, blue-eyed white kid, she said this in a New York Times article, that I would not have been sentenced to the rest of my life in prison. Racism definitely played a part in my sentence. The system treated me worse than had I killed somebody and I would have been white. There's so much going on in this world today, particularly with gun violence. And I like to, just say that it's on us as a society to do something about these guns and how easy accessible they are. I shouldn't have been able to get a gun at 13 years old, but I was. And I am a huge proponent now against gun violence, and I implore Congress to do something about these senseless killings that we face daily in the United States of America.
And Debbie, your victim, has forgiven you. We should say that as well. But you speak about you want Congress to make a difference in this gun violence. We just spoke with a gun owner a little while ago, a black gun owner who is a big proponent of the Second Amendment, and he really thinks that blacks should be able to own guns. He says it's not legislation that will solve this, it's people. Do you agree?
It's a little bit of both. I feel like people and themselves can stop from committing crimes, but it also starts with legislation to not make guns be so accessible. How can a child just at 13 get access to a gun? This kid yesterday was 18 years old and went and bought some AK-47s and AR-15s. It shouldn't be that easy to access a gun in America. Most other countries don't have these type of problems. And also, I would like to go on to talk about solitary confinement. And we need to, do something with the way solitary confinement is handled in this country. The United Nations says over 15 days in solitary confinement is considered torture. Well, I spent 18 years in solitary confinement. And look at Brittany Griner over in Russia right now, being held in draconian conditions. People like Brittany needs to be brought home. I don't want to forget her in this interview as well. I like to speak about that.
Ian, all good points. Let me ask you this. What goes on in the mind of a 13-year-old to feel that it's okay to pick up a gun?
Well, peer pressure. Peer pressure is one thing. Feeling like a rush of adrenaline, boredom.
But a gun?
Things that, excuse me?
But a gun?
Yeah, a gun. I looking back on my life, having access to a gun at such a young age, it was given to me by an older teen who I was trying to impress. And when you're so young, the science shows that the mind is still growing. You make irrational decisions not knowing that it can cost you the rest of your life or even your life at such a young age. So yes, it's just a viable option as a child. It's not something that I would do now because I've grown. I'm more conscious, But when you're young, you have a tendency to fly off the handle and do things that you wouldn't do at an older, more mature age.
And what do you say to kids today? I know you've written this book, My Time Will Come, but do you talk to kids? Do you speak with kids in the neighborhoods to let them know that this is not the right way to go? And have you reached any of those kids, do you think?
Yes, I told the judge when I was resentenced for the last time in 2016 that if I could reach one kid, then my life would not have been in vain.
Right.
And I travel the country. I go to Rikers Island. I went to Indianapolis at Butler University. I go across the country sharing my story, deterring youth. And I do it in a way that it's receptive to their young minds, because young kids, it's fine if you go to college and you're a professor, but they really gravitate towards people who have a lived experience.
And who look like them. Read your poem for us.
Yes, the poem says, I'm the genie in the bottle the world has forgot. They put me in this abyss and closed up the top. I was a little boy when they did what they did, but time continued to tick, and I'm no longer a kid. My mother is dead, and so is my father. I've been abandoned by family while trapped in this bottle. But I hold on to hope that someone will open the top, answer my prayers, and help me out. Sometimes people pick up the bottle and put their eye to the hole. But instead of compassion, acting indifferent and cold, I suffer sensory deprivation, a lost sense of direction. There's no mirror in this bottle for me to see my reflection. They say being lonely and alone are two different definitions, but it's only me in this bottle, so I fit both descriptions. What I need is a friend, someone to extend a hand. It could be as simple as picking up a pen. Someone who cares, accepts me for who I am, my magnetic personality and my baggage from the past. Someone who helps heal the sorrow, will work on building our tomorrows. Someone who refuses to leave me to die in this bottle. And I wrote that poem in solitary confinement growing up in prison, and it means a lot to me, and I hope the world is receptive to it.
Ian Manuel, be safe, sir. Good luck to you.
You too.
Again,
Thank you.
His book is called My Time Will Come, a memoir of crime, punishment, hope, and redemption. It's available everywhere books are sold.